This is Bob. Bob likes his bed dry, his room temperature moderate, and his geography stable. But tonight, while Bob was dreaming about electric sheep, physics decided to pull a prank. In our scenario, we aren't waiting 100 years for climate change. We are taking 5 million cubic miles of ice from Antarctica, Greenland, and your freezer and turning it into water. Instantly. Wakey, wakey, Bob. The floor is lava? No, the floor is the Atlantic Ocean. Scientific consensus says if all ice melted, sea levels would rise about 216 feet, or 66 meters. In the real world, this takes centuries. In Bob's world, it took 8 hours. Say goodbye to Miami, New York, Tokyo, and London. They aren't just flooded, they are aquariums. Florida? Gone. Completely. It's now just a hazard on a shipping map. If you lived on the 20th floor, congratulations. You now own oceanfront property. If you lived on the ground floor, well, you're now part of the fossil record. But drowning is the easy part. The real problem is the cocktail mix. You just dumped billions of gallons of fresh water into the salty ocean. This crashes the salinity levels. Why does that matter? Because saltwater fish explode or die when the water gets too fresh, and freshwater organisms shrivel up in the salt. Within days, the ocean surface is a graveyard of billions of floating fish. The smell? Let's just say Bob wishes he had drowned in step 1. Here is the irony. We melted the ice to warm things up, right? Wrong. The influx of cold, fresh water halts the Gulf Stream, the global conveyor belt that brings warm, tropical water to Europe. Without it, the North Atlantic freezes over. While the equator boils, Britain and Scandinavia turn into a new ice age. Bob survived the flood only to freeze to death on his raft. Physics has a dark sense of humor. More water means more evaporation. More evaporation means massive clouds. We aren't talking about a drizzly Tuesday, we are talking about hypercanes, hurricanes with the size and energy of a continent. These storms would scour the remaining land masses clean. Rain would fall for weeks without stopping. If the ocean didn't claim your house, the 300-mile-per-hour wind will gladly finish the job. Let's look at what was trapped in that ice. Specifically, the permafrost. When it melts, it releases gigatons of methane, a greenhouse gas much more potent than CO2. Also, mercury. And let's not forget the ancient viruses and bacteria that have been dormant for 30,000 years. Zombie anthrax? Maybe. Bob is now breathing toxic air, eating mercury-poisoned fish, and fighting off a flu from the Stone Age. Good luck, Bob. The ice sheets were heavy. Antarctica's ice alone weighs about 27 million billion tons. When you remove that weight instantly, the Earth's crust springs back up like a memory foam mattress. This is called isostatic rebound. But for Bob, it's called massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. As the crust adjusts, tectonic plates shift violently. So while floating on a toxic ocean in a hurricane, Bob also has to dodge tsunamis created by volcanoes. It's a very busy day. Finally, let's talk about the spin. Ice is mostly at the poles, close to the axis of rotation. Water flows to the equator, far from the axis. This is the figure skater effect. When she puts her arms out, she slows down. Earth spreads its mass out so its rotation slows. Days would get longer, maybe only by a minute or two, but enough to mess up GPS satellites and Bob's sleep schedule. Time itself is now broken. So if all the ice melted overnight, humanity would be reduced to a few colonies on mountain peaks and floating cities. We would lose our history, our technology, and most of our population. The Earth would eventually stabilize, but it would be a hot, stormy, unrecognizable blue marble. Maybe let's keep the ice in the freezer, okay? If you want to see Bob suffer in dry heat next time, hit that subscribe button and comment, desert. Stay dry and thanks for watching.